I am back with another tutorial video. This one today focuses on spiders. A number of you have said that you struggle fighting the spiders in this game. So we're going to do a tutorial video on how to best fight every single spider in this game. Diving bell spiders are my most hated because their attack is so much slower than every other one. But we're going to cover that in this video, so make sure you stay tuned till the end. And remember, if you do like this video, leave a like and a comment, letting me know what you think. And if you really enjoyed it, maybe you'll subscribe. It would be amazing if you did. We're going to go look at all of these different spiders throughout the course of this. It's only going to be short, because thankfully, a lot of these guys just use the same attack pattern. Pretty much all of them do. It's just that each individual spider has its particular things, like the infected wolfie blows things up. The Broodmother is a lot slower. The first, second, and third phase is different. Has the same attack patterns, has everything else, however, is like in between these guys. Is the first thing you'll come up against in the game. So we're going to go and take a look at them pretty much in this order, because these are the ones that you come across quite regularly. These ones, not so much, because you kind of have to spawn that one in, and you also have to spawn that one in. These guys only spawn at a certain time, and if you spend a lot of time in the pond. So first and foremost, we're going to deal with the 3 different kinds of orb weaver. So let's go find them. First and foremost, before we get into any actual attacking of any spider, the most important things you're going to need, at least early on, is a shield. The weapon of your choosing, doesn't really matter what. You're probably going to start with a pebblet axe like most do, or a spear. Or if you know where the rotten ones are, you can go and grab all that. And some sort of armor. And it's not going to matter which one, but that's the best recommendation I got. And so for the purposes of this, I'm going to show you the best mutations and the best setup to give you the best chance of being able to fight all the different spiders and every other bug for that matter in this game. Alright, let's get to it. We can see an orb weaver over there. They are weak to spicy. So if you're later in the game and you get the spicy stuff like the spicy Cortana or the spicy enhancements onto pretty much anything, it will be super, super useful for you. Their resistances are stabbing and fresh. It's always good to know that. Make sure you peep these creatures. It's always worth it. We're going to go fight one without optimal stuff. I've fought enough of them that I should be used to it. We're going to try and show off all of its attack patterns. Whoa, that was close. Alright, shoot your web at me. Go on, shoot it. Alright. That's the main one that will be really annoying for a lot of you. All it requires is for you to have an axe of some sort. Hey, get back here. So you can cut yourself out of it. Doesn't matter what you use, you just have to be able to cut yourself out of it. Okay, I'm going to shoot this guy from back here. So now he's going to be mad at me. He's going to shoot his web again. Yeah, as long as you can dodge that one, you're pretty well sorted. The next thing you're going to come across is the single attack, which is that one. And then hopefully, if they do it, the 3-hit combo. Just like that. Now, like I said, best recommendation, get yourself a shield, get yourself all the things you're going to need. We are about to come across the second type of orb weaver that exists within the game, and you will find a ton of them over here at the hedge. This is like the first main thing that you'll do, so you're going to come across them pretty quickly. You'll also come across a lot of normal ones here too, so we're going to go try and find a baby one right there. Same deal. So it's an orb weaver junior, same thing. It is, hang on, weak to spicy, stabbing, resistant to stabbing and fresh. Let's see how we do against one of these guys. Let's just shoot him from distance first. Alright. So same thing, big lunge attack. Alright. Singular attack. Oh. Well, I guess I'll go fight this one. Singular attack, and then they've also got the 3-hit combo. Conveniently timed by that one right there. Okay. These are the most common spiders. You will come across these guys a ton. We'll go on to the next one here. Like, now these ones are the... Oh, go away! We're going to move on to the next type, which is the Orc Orb Weaver Juniors. Now, they're a little bit tougher. They're a lot more annoying, though. The good part about them is they only spawn once you've hit a certain stage in the storyline. So it's not a bad thing. You don't come across them in the early game. You will come across these guys a lot in the early game. Learn their attacks. This is the first and like the biggest thing. This is like the biggest thing I can tell you when it comes to fighting spiders in this game. You need to learn their attack patterns, and it's just going to come down to practice. If you don't like fighting them, I'm sorry, you're going to have to. If you want to get better at killing them, you're going to have to fight them a lot. It's the only reason I'm so good at parrying them is I've had a lot of practice. And yeah, so go fight them. I know they're scary. There is also the arachnophobia filter, so feel free to turn that on and turn them into little floaty marshmallows. If you are genuinely scared of spiders, that is a pretty helpful way, and I'm glad they have that as an accessibility feature within the game. While we're here, we're going to touch on these. We're not going to be like focused on the spiderlings because they're literally just like they spawn in, they do things. That was ridiculous and scary. But if you can time those, you're pretty well set. But they're just super quick to kill. Same with the widowlings. They're more annoying. They do a lot more damage to you. But they're still pretty easy to kill in comparison to Big Mummy. This little guy right here, okay, this is the third and the worst kind of orb weaver that exists in Grounded. Now, this only pops up after you've done a fair amount of the story. He's still the same thing, he's just an orc version, so they're a little bit tougher and a little bit more annoying. Okay, so they still have the same stuff. They still have the singular attack. The only one they don't do is the web shoot. Okay, there's the singular attack. We'll see if we can do the 3-hit combo from this guy. 1, 2, 3. Same as the big one, same speed. These guys are just much more annoying. So these only spawn once you've hit a certain point in the game. So just keep that in mind. You won't be seeing too many of those. That's all the orb weavers done. They're not that bad. They're the ones that you see quite often. So we're going to go and get... Well, we're going to go and look at wolf spiders next. Now, they spawn fairly regularly around the map. The ones that you will most commonly come across live underneath the oak tree in here. Now, I'm obviously progressed in the game, so we have the fungus in here and the nasty one. So we'll talk about that one in a minute. But for now, we're going to go find a normal wolf spider. Same thing. Make sure you peep it, but they are also weak to spicy. So late game, fantastically easy to kill. Get yourself a widow dagger there, top tier. It's a fairly easy one. You can get it and Blade Master at the same time, or your weapon, or your weapons thing at the same time, just by doing that. The Might run that I uploaded a little while ago. Go check that out if you haven't already. I'll leave a link, like the card will just be below. So get yourself a shield, and get yourself Parry Master, and then the last thing you need is the Koi Armor. Now this is like a little bit down the track, but once you give it Sleek, it gives you perfect block. Like, it increases the window for you to be able to perfect block something. And that is going to give you the best possible chance of survival against any of the spiders. Let's get back to it. And so we're going to go take one on. I'm going to take one on for you. So you don't have to. But, again, like I said, learn the attack patterns. Learn how they fight. And work out the timing windows. It will be your best friend. Practice killing them. They respawn every 3 or 4 days, 2-3 days. And there's like 2 under the oak tree. So if you can get one out, bait one out with a bow and arrow, then you can go to it. We're just going to run in and we're going to run out so it's got some space to move. Now he's got a big lunge on him. He also has this 5 combo attack and a cool little myth that I saw IMK do. Make sure you parry that as well. The third attack from him is a fake one. So we're not going to block it. Just like that. So the third one's fake. You don't have to parry it, but you can if you want to. Okay, practice. Just get hit with a shield. And just practice taking on hits. Okay? It's a fun little way of practicing killing wolf spiders. Again, I'm on easy and I'm using like high tier stuff here. Just to like clear the air on that. I'm only on easy. That's why they're dying so fast. It's the same principle regardless of the difficulty. We're going to go look at the next one, which is going to be the Black Widow. Alright, we're coming up to a Black Widow here. Now these guys spawn, I think there's 4 or 5 on the map. There is one just here in the rocks, the little water feature. There is one under the toolbox up here. There is one inside the brawny bin once you've annoyed the wasp enough to get in there. And then there is one here, and there is also one in the undershed, but it doesn't respawn once you've killed it. It's a mini boss within the game. Be careful on that one though, it's the most terrifying, but it does have better drops than the others. My recommendation for fighting a Black Widow is 1, set up a bed, 2, make sure you've gotten this research station that's just back there. Make sure you've been to that, or at least registered it, so that you can respawn there if you die during these fights. They're not the easiest fights, that's for sure. I know I probably make them look easy, but I can promise you they are quite difficult. You do also have to potentially deal with the Black Widowlings in here. They are super annoying. They do a lot of damage. We're going to annoy her enough to get her up on the rock. There are ways of cheesing this, but we're going to talk about doing it properly. Before we go too much further while she's there, she has no weaknesses and she's pretty much resistant to everything. That's kind of bad. Not a fan of that. Come on. Can you make it up, would ya? Okay, that's mildly terrifying. Get up here. Come on. There we go. Now, she hits a lot harder. It's a good miss on my behalf. Standard, same thing. Lunge attack. She'll do occasional big ones, occasional small ones. But big old lunge attacks. Then it's the same 3-hit combo. It's just a bit quicker. And eventually it'll be the 5-hit combo that's a lot faster. And we're going to test out the same theory if we can get her to do that a few times. If the 3rd hit's fake. So we're just going to parry some of these until she gets to that stage. Come on. Come on. Not the 3-hit combo. I need the 5-hit combo. I just want the 3rd hit to be fake. It is fake. Would you look at that? Now, with this fight, I recommend anything that does extra damage. Bleed damage, like the spiky sprig, wearing the moth armor and shooting it with an arrow every now and then, infection damage with the rusty spear or the toenail scimitar. All really good options. Anything that does extra chip damage is going to work in your favor. Even corrosive armor, if you want to wear the fire ant armor. I usually wear the moth armor and just shoot it occasionally with an arrow and hope that I can get the thing. Otherwise, it's literally just sit here with whatever weapon does the most damage. In my case, it's this, which does so much damage, it's ridiculous. And it's worth it. But yeah. Take your time with these guys. They suck. It's not a fun fight. That's why I said make a bed, because you can just set your respawn point to the bed, and away you go. The only other big thing I can recommend is bring a whole lot of heals with you, which I have not. Heck yeah, let's go! Come on. Now I am also going to be doing a special video on what is the best way to kill a Black Widow with specific weaponry. I'm going to be going through everything. I'm going to test every weapon against her and see what is the fastest way to kill a Black Widow. Please die. Thank you. So I'm going to be doing a special video on that. I'm going to be using just about every tier 3 weapon you can get your hands on, plus like the spiky sprig. I want to get to the bottom of what is the best weapon. What is the best possible setup to fight one of these, because these are one of the hardest tier 3 enemies in the game by quite a lot. Now that we've taken on a Black Widow, Wolf Spider, and all the different kinds of Orb Weavers, we're going to go and check out the Diving Bell Spider and the Infected Wolf Spider before we get to the bosses. We're going to go find one of these nasties. There's usually a couple around here. There we go. Now you can only use certain weapons underwater, which consist of a dagger, and a spear, I think. I think that's pretty much it. Or like the bone blade. But that's pretty much it. You're very limited as to what you can attack with. You can still use your shield though. See how long they attack? Why is there 2 of them? Alright. So with these guys, there is a little trick to fighting stuff underwater. We're just going to block this guy's attack. Once you can get the timing down for this, that's their only attack. That's all they will do. That's it. So we're going to do that. We're going to take one. Oh, come on. Swing. And they swing away. So, 2 hits with a dagger. Not bad. We're going to go fight one more with the fast technique, and there's one right there. I didn't start using this until like day 1000 in my game. And I have regrets, because it means you can take out a couple of these guys a whole lot quicker than taking out just the one. It's attack and block. It's the same as the minigun glitch. Just like that. 1, 2, 3, dead. Super quick, super easy. That's that one taken care of. Let's go look at one of the hardest alongside the Black Widow, which is the infected wolf spider. Now this only starts spawning in your games once you have plugged the haze. So go do that with a gum nugget. I recommend it because you get access to burrs all over the yard. And if you're like me and like to do a lot of building and like the prettiness of them, you're gonna want them. And getting 10 every 4 days or every 5 days from the pot is not enough. I'm currently doing the Hogwarts build and we are up over like 4,000 or 5,000. Alright. There he is. So, this guy has the explosive properties of the infected. Anyway, he's weak to busting, fresh, slashing, and spicy. We've got the spicy widow dagger, so that's what we're going to use. I'm going to run away now before he tries to kill me. Okay, but make sure you peep him. Now, because this guy has the explosive properties, he can do this. Now, if I walk where that is, it'll explode. Okay, so we're not going to go near that. But he also has some undefendable attacks, which I'm hopefully going to showcase if he wants to come and fight me. Alright, cool. Alright. His third attack is not fake. Alright? But he has the same 5-hit combo as the others. He also has a big 3-hit combo that explodes every time. And that's the worst one, because you can't block it. Same with that. His lunge attack will also explode, which isn't good. Come on. That one. That's the nasty one. You can't defend that. So my best recommendation is get yourself a fresh blade that you can fight back with and get yourself some life with. I like using the tick blade because it has really good lifesteal. And we managed to survive and get our health back with that. Super useful. Also, killing these guys gives you a chance of getting a special trinket, which is a 1% drop chance. So good luck with that one. It's not nice. It's the same with all these spiders. Make sure you learn their moveset. Once you know their moveset, it's a lot easier. The explosive jumps are, like I said, pretty well impossible. You can't parry them. You can't defend them. There's nothing you can do. You just have to tank the hit, I guess. So that's covered our Orb Weaver, our Wolf Spider, Black Widow, Infected Wolfie, and Diving Bell. We have 2 to go. We're going to go take a look at the Broodmother fight now, because her attacks are super slow. The thing you have to worry about with this fight and with her, specifically, is the weenies that spawn. So the little Orb Weaver juniors and the Spiderlings, they are the most annoying part about the whole fight. The fight itself is not super complicated. She did get a buff in the most recent update, but she's overall not that difficult. The Spicy Katana is one of the best. I'm still using the Spicy Widow Dagger, but you can also use like the Blast of the Multi Matriarch if you have that. Bombs work just fine. Spicy Arrows work just fine. Pretty much any weapon will do. So we're going to go take a look at that fight. Just quickly while we're heading over the Broodmother fight, you are going to need to find the Broodmother recipe. And I'm going to have a tutorial video on the recipes coming out pretty soon. But you will need to go and find that. It is somewhere over here in the hedge. Like I said, I'll have that tutorial video out pretty soon as to how to get to that. But you'll need that, and then you'll need the pieces to create that specific Broodmother BLT. It's the same for the Infected Broodmother. It's the Moldy Hoagie. You are going to need to find the recipe. Gosh, too much freaking spiders. I hate them so much. I still hate them. Despite the fact that I can kill them really easy, I still hate them. They freak me out. So I'll have a tutorial video out on where to find those and all that stuff coming fairly soon. This is where you want to head. And like I said, you are going to need to make sure you've got the Broodmother BLT. But you can just walk straight on in. This is her den. These are egg sacs. Try not to destroy these. They will spawn spiderlings. And you don't want to make the fight harder than it is. This is the spawn area. You can spawn her in an infinite amount of times. And she'll come straight down from up there. Let's have a look at this fight. Let's have a look at her attacks. And the best way to beat her. Now, like I said, best way to beat her, in my opinion, anything spicy is really useful. Any weapon you're comfortable with. If you can put spicy on it, go nuts for it. It's just the best way because that's what she's weak to. So we're going to spawn her in. And we're going to have a quick look at her coming down from the ceiling. So slashing and spicy, anything that fits that bill, go for it. Because she's resistant to the rest of it. Let's have a look at her attacks. Really slow, so learning the speed of that is going to be difficult for the parrying. So see how slow she is? It's the same 3 attack pattern, but it is incredibly slow. Once you get the timing down, same deal. Fight's going to be pretty simple. Bring a shield though in case you're not crazy good at the timing, so you can just tank the hits if you miss the parry timing. Like me, just there. I'm not the greatest at the parry timing on this. Now she will do that. That will spawn in a whole bunch of the little ones, and this is where it gets kind of nasty. She's also got that 5-hit combo. Good luck keeping an eye on everything. It's a lot. Oh gosh. She's still got that 5-hit combo, but it's a lot slower. And she has that one attack there, which you can block. So when she jumps back, you just got to work out the timing window for it. Let's go. So that'll help you survive a little bit longer in these fights if you tend to struggle with it. Oh crap, I'm not just dead here. Dang. As you can see, I didn't pay attention to my own stuff, which is bring a lot of heals. Make sure you do that. It's kind of convenient though, because she's dead. And I need to respawn back, so we can go look at the final boss. The infected Broodmother. I will see you at the den. Before you go into this fight, this is by far the hardest fight in the game by just an absolute landslide. You're gonna want specific stuff. You're going to need a fresh blade of some kind. I recommend either the rusty spear, the tick blade, or the toenail sword. Those 3 tend to be the best and the ones that I've seen people be able to do the fight with on any difficulty. It needs to be as close to maxed out on the freshness enhancement as possible. You need to be doing max damage pretty much all the time. The reason I like using the tick blade is you get that bit of health back. So that's my recommendation. Fire and shield, 1, because it's slightly easier to repair. You can just keep the bug parts with you. For armor, I recommend either the fire ant armor or the ladybug armor. Today we're going to take on the fire ant armor. Ladybug armor is particularly useful because it gives you added healing. And we're just going to go through the stages of the fight. So necessity for this one is a shield. A really good weapon. It needs to be like level 8 or level 9. And you're also going to need some really decent armor in order to get through the fight. So yeah, like I said, fire ant armor or ladybug armor, both fantastic for this, but you're going to need all 3 pieces because you're going to need the extra enhancements. Now that that's out of the way, let's get over to the den. Now that that's out of the way, let's get over to the den. You're going to want as many of these as possible. You're going to want this maxed out. You need all 5. You are going to need all 5. Go find some milk molars for that one. But yeah, my recommendation for this is I'm just going to have none of these turned on. For this, you're probably going to need a few specific ones. Meat shields and buff lungs are both pretty good. My recommendation would be meat shield over buff lungs, because you're not going to be actually attacking her all too often. The next one is whatever weapon you're going to be using, you're going to want that maxed out mutation. So in my case, it's going to be Broodmother. You're going to want corporate kickback. This is a necessity. Blocking an enemy's attack enables your own attacks to steal health. Super useful. The infected Broodmother gives a whole lot of debuffs when it comes to defense and your healing ability. So you want to kind of counteract that with as much as you can. Ladybug armor, really helpful. Any kind of lifesteal blade, really helpful for the same purpose. Together with corporate kickback, it's really useful. Now, there's a lot of talk about this. In my opinion, I like Serious Stranger just because it can potentially lead to a distraction where you have a bit of extra time to heal up, prepare, get ready for the next one. If you're playing this in a group of friends, all of you need Reliable Friend on. All of you. And it needs to be maxed out. It is super, super important. Without that, you guys are kind of screwed. If one of you goes down, all of you are going to go down, and you're just not going to have a good time. So yeah, that's my setup. Blade Master, because I like the Tick Blade. Meat Shield. Serious Stranger. Corporate Kickback. You could elect... I'm going to go with Buff Lungs, but you could elect to go with Coup de Grace and Trapper Peeper if you've got them. Those two are quite good. Coup de Grace just does crit hit chance. It ups it from 2.5% to 5% once you get the maximum, so that's a good option. I'm going to stick to Buff Lungs, so I've got the extra stamina and the extra health. When it comes to your heals, any kind of shake will do. I've done it. Admittedly, I've only ever done it on easy. You're going to want to make sure you've got a ton of it, but I like using Beefy Green Machines. Beefy is a necessity. You need the extra heals for the fight. Without further ado, we're going to get into this fight. Spoilers for this fight. You probably already knew that. Spoilers for this fight, though. So if you don't want to watch any further, don't watch past this. We're getting into like an end game thing. Spoilers for this fight. She has 3 phases. Each phase is slightly different than the last. The first one is her slowest, more similar to the Broodmother fight. The second one is completely different from the other two. And the third phase is where it's like rubber hits the road and it gets genuinely very difficult. We're going to spawn her in. You're going to make sure you peep her. She is weak to fresh. Her resistance is spicy and salty. If you try and use explosions against her, she gains her health back. And we don't want that. Right. Shields up. Make sure you got your heals on your hotbar. And get prepared for a pretty nasty fight. Now with her, she has a bunch of different speeds she can take stuff on. And it kind of sucks. So there's the Serious Stranger doing its thing, being a distraction and being super useful. So I can take this time to heal, make sure I got all my hotbar stuff done up. Now, like I said, with her attacks, they can potentially be a few different speeds. Her 5-hit combo can be a nice and slow one. Like that, not too bad. You get used to that one. But yeah, primarily, you just got to get used to it. It's a lot of blocking, it's a lot of healing, it's just a lot of on repeat. I didn't change my armor over, so that's gonna do a lot. See how she gets those little buffs right there? So a little bit of extra lifesteal. So if you're fighting her in the water and she hits you, you're gonna take a lot more damage and you're gonna help her heal. Alright. That is her phase 1 down. We're going to look into phase 2. Her phase 1 is much similar to like an infected wolf spider. Phase 2, she gets a little bit more complicated. That scream right there, it is so important for you to parry that. If you don't parry it, you take a debuff in your healing and it's permanent for the rest of the fight. Okay, it's permanent for pretty much for the rest of the fight as far as I'm aware. That's one of her things. She'll like shoot off to one side. It's always to the right. And then she'll come at you, okay? Make sure you're defending yourself as much as you can. Watch out for those explosions. It's a lot on this fight. That's all stage 2 really is. It's not much different. It's just a couple of jumping attacks here and there. This egg sac, which gives her a lot of health if you don't break it. So you can leave it. I would recommend leaving it. Just walk away. Let her heal up. It's not a bad thing. Gonna heal up real quick. Make sure you try and keep an eye on her. Sometimes it is more useful to be in third person for this so you can see a bit more of what's going on. It's just up to you. Personal preference. I use what I'm used to. Her explosions heal her for the entire fight. So like I said, this one is just so much harder than any other fight in the game. And this one is practice makes perfect. It took me, I think, 3 streams on TikTok before I even came close to being able to defeat her. Even on easy. It was an absolute ridiculous fight. So I'm just gonna get away, because that explosion hurts a lot. Get away from those. Whew. I'm gonna try and get her into a third phase. Beautiful. This is the third phase, and this is where everything amps up to another level. Her attack speed is like quadrupled, so her 5-hit combo would be the same speed as a single Broodmother hit, for example. This is where it gets a lot harder. This is where the fight becomes genuinely difficult. See her speed? See how quickly she moves there? That's for the entire fight. Plus her health bar is freaking gigantic. There's the slow version. Let's hope we can get the fast version. Good luck. Best recommendation is to literally just tank, like block as much of it as you can, and try and maybe parry the last one. Good luck with this fight. This is an absolute behemoth. Doing it without the right gear sucks. So you're gonna want the right stuff. Now you can see how many debuffs you have in the bottom left-hand corner under your name. Alright. Jesus, this fight is brutal. A third man? What the hell? Ow. So I'm at 7 healing debuffs right now. And a speed debuff. That's rough. This fight's going impressively well. Oh no! Do I actually just not have a shield? Are you kidding me? This is gonna suck. I have to block everything with just an axe. That is insane. I hate this. Come on. I will be impressed if I can do this. Oh no. Heck yes. Alright, cool. Don't do what I did. Make sure you repair all of your gear before you even attempt this fight. Fire and armor is a godsend. But if you struggle with the parrying of attacks and everything, like you gotta think, I've done this fight about 40 times. And like 30 of those were before I could beat her. So a lot of practice went into being able to do that. Alright, that is every spider in the game. That is the infected Broodmother done about as good as I could, honestly. So I hope that helps you in your endeavors in Grounded. Spiders are the biggest and the scariest thing in this game, by far. They suck, but I hope this tutorial on how to beat them and what their attack patterns are like and all that sort of stuff is actually helpful for you. And I'm interested to see what you all think. It was tough to try and get all of that together, but I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, let me know in the comments. I really appreciate it. And more tutorials coming soon. This one was actually kind of requested by a number of you. So thank you all for requesting it. I hope this does it justice. I hope I showed off enough of it. And I hope it helps you in your endeavors to beat Grounded. See you on the next one, everybody. Bye-bye.